afternoon. Welcome to the LEWCO webinar on Non-Powered Conveyor 101. This is the third and final webinar on this subject. My name is Miguel Armendariz. I am one of the technical sales associates here at LEWCO. I have my associate, Jason Fresh, who will be attending to the chat room should you have any questions that are not covered here on this webinar. We are going to be covering extreme basics of the non-powered conveyor systems. We're going to be covering information on gravity roller conveyors, ball transfer conveyors, wheel rail conveyors, where and when to use them, a little bit on application information, and some of the LEWCO benefits and features. As far as industries and where they work, they deal with all various industries. We can put them into warehouse distribution, manufacturing, order fulfillment, aerospace, government, military agencies, automotive, parcel handling, much like your Federal Express, UPS, and Amazon, appliance, cabinetry, furniture, food and beverage. So we can deal with almost any industries that are out there. You'll see LEWCO conveyors, wheel rails, and ball table transfers. First, I want to talk about gravity roller conveyors. All right, first thing we want to talk about is what type of items can we convey on our gravity roller conveyors. One thing to keep in mind is the product that we handle on our conveyors has to be containerized or unitized. To put it in simple terms, we don't convey the bottles, we convey the 6-packs, the 12-packs, and the cases, okay? So keep that in mind. Ideally, we would like things to be nice and flat to roll over our rollers here. So we're talking cartons, totes, fixtures, cardboard boxes. There are instances where people like to put pallets on there. That is great if the bottom boards are perpendicular to the rollers. That makes for a smoother surface, more surface contact, and allows the product to be conveyed nice and smooth. Unfortunately, we do have some people out there that decide to do it, we call it the wrong way. This, where the bottom boards are perpendicular, we like to call that the right way. When the bottom boards are parallel to the rollers, we like to call that the wrong way. And the reason it's the wrong way is because we really got to get these roller centers nice and tight, because we don't have that long runner to keep it nice and smooth and conveying down the system. So what we have to do is something special. Tight roller centers, we may have to put 2 of these together side by side, stagger the rollers a little bit, and maybe even 3 of them. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because that's more of a non-standard item that deals with, but just to let you know, we are able to deal with the bottom boards and the pallets being sliding down the wrong way. We can deal with non-contact accumulation, applying some roller brakes in the system and accumulating of the loads, using end stops, guardrails, all the different types of accessories that are available here at LEWCO. But let's keep it on the simple side of things. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. Our gravity roller conveyors. The smallest size for a roller is 1.375. Our largest standard is 3.5 inches diameter. Now, how do you choose what size roller to use? When you're dealing with 1.4, if you can picture something that is UPS-able, maybe 50 pounds or less, maybe 75 pounds, you want to keep it on the light side of things. When you're moving up to 150 pounds per foot, you want to talk 1.9. It's our 1912, 1916, 1909 rollers. When you're up to 350 pounds a foot, you want to start thinking about 2.5. And when you get to the larger weights, when you're talking about 1,000 pounds or more, then you want to talk to spec-in or 3.5 inch diameter rollers. Roller centers come in 1.5, all the way up to 12-inch centers. That is determined by the size of your product that you are conveying. You want to make sure you maintain 3 rollers underneath each of the underneath each of the products that you're handling out there. And we'll get to that later on the illustrating side of things. The bearings, well, you can spec in different types of bearings, non-precision, semi-precision, and precision. I'll drop down the roller covers because we can also do it in galvanized, regular steel, urethane covers, and even stainless as well. Now, as far as specifics on our rollers, we do have a webinar that is specific for our roller information. That was put together by my coworker, Jason Fresh. That is listed on our website, as this one will be as well. But yeah, feel free to take a look at that and listen if you want some more information regarding our roller specifications. Between frame dimension, and we'll get to a graphic on how to measure the between frame dimension. It can go from 6-inch up to 80-inch. One thing to keep in mind regarding the roller centers and between frame, obviously you cannot have a 3.5-inch diameter roller on 1.5-inch centers. You also have to be careful about the 1.375 diameter roller, because you do not want to deal with an 80-inch between frame on that. What we'd like to see actually as far as a maximum on the 1.375 is 22 inches is what we feel comfortable with as far as the between frame. We have them a little bit longer, but it's more on the special side of things, and we need to have a lot of information regarding the product that is being conveyed. So we are allowed to go outside of our general rules, but we want to make sure that we're all covered, yours and mine. We have different frame styles. We have the where the rollers are set low, rollers are set high, and also a combination where one side of the roller is set low in the frame, and the other side is set high. Obviously, regarding frame styles, you can also add guardrails, end stops, that type of accessories. To specify your conveyor, all this information and standard quoting items can be done on our sales portal. And we'll get to that later at the end, how to get to our sales portal. This is a graphic that shows the information that we would like to see when you guys call in for a quote. A lot of people will call in, I need an 18-inch wide conveyor. That's great. I'd like to know what that 18 inch is for. Is that the between frame, which is pretty self-explanatory, or is it the overall width? That's one of the questions we're going to ask you. So make sure if you're at a customer's, you measure the between frame. That's what we usually go with to determine the size of your conveyor. Top of roller dimension, your elevation. We go off of that as well. And that is measured from the floor to the top of the roller. That includes not only the height of the support, but also the frame. The frame is different sizes based off of, we have different frame sizes that are available based off the diameter of the rollers. All that information is on our website. One thing to keep in mind, if you are quoting items like this on your own through the configurator, the sales portal, and you're quoting just the support elevation will stop right here. It will not include the frame. So keep that in mind when you are quoting supports as a separate line item. When you are quoting a gravity conveyor or any type of conveyor out there, and you're including the supports and you're entering the beginning and ending elevation, keep in mind that it is asking for the top roller elevation. It is not asking for the elevation of the support itself. It is asking you for the top of roller dimension. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Roller spacing, 2 inches, 2 1/4, 3, 4 1/2, 6, 9, 12 is our standard sizes that we have out there. I believe I mentioned 1 1/2 in there before as well. Keep in mind, when you're talking capacities as well, it is not only the roller that you have to keep in mind, but it is also the frame. The frame is good for, if you have the supports on 10-foot centers, the frame is usually good for about 350 pounds per foot. If you move the centers of the supports in at 5-foot centers, then you're talking about 900 pounds per foot as far as capacity is concerned. So it's not only the roller you have to take care of, you have to know about the capacities, but also the frame as well, and also your the centers on your framework. If you have that frame on the floor, obviously you can hold a lot more. So Keep that in mind. It is not just a roller that will determine the capacity of your conveyor, but it is also the frame and your support spacing. As I mentioned to you before, regarding the size of your product, you want to make sure and maintain 3 rollers underneath your product at all times. That is a minimum number of rollers you want to see underneath your product in order for proper conveying. Here is why. It is important to know the size of your product. You want to make sure that there's 3 underneath. You can see how nice and smooth as this goes down the line. There will be 3 rollers underneath the product. There will be no problem. When we change the roller spacing to be a little bit wider, this is going to tip down. Once it starts conveying, there's probably going to be a point where there's only 1 roller underneath and it's going to get stuck. So please keep that in mind. Know what you are conveying so you can determine what the roller spacing is. Again, the magic number is 3. Let's talk about curves. We have a couple different styles of curves. We have got the straight roller curve, and we have got the tapered roller curve. The tapered one, the diameter is smaller, it goes to the larger. On a straight roller conveyor, this is your most economical conveyor. Deals more with pushing. You don't really have to worry about the orientation of the product. As the product goes through a straight roller curve conveyor, it will start to reorientate itself a little bit and not go in the same position that it entered. So keep that in mind. As it travels through, it'll tend to twist a little bit, and that's why we have a tapered roller curve. When you have this type of a slight incline on here, you can think like a NASCAR race track, where it keeps everything nice and banked. You have this bank on here, and it will keep the orientation of the box a little bit closer to what it was when it entered. We have a third roller curve conveyor that unfortunately I don't have a picture of, but if you can imagine a piece of frame going right down the middle here. We have 2 different rollers, 2 rollers, and what happens is, this is called a split roller curve conveyor, I apologize. And what that does, that allows the outside rollers to actually spin faster than the inside. That will help maintain the orientation of the product as it goes through the curve. This is great. The tapered roller curve and the split is great dealing with flowing of product through, and you want to maintain that orientation on there. The split is automatically spec'd in when you're dealing with, it starts at 21 inch between frame dimension on up. So we're automatically going to give you the split curve when you're dealing with 21 or more. One thing to keep in mind is obviously the length of your product that you are conveying. Not all curves are made alike. It's important that we know how long you're going to be conveying, how long the item is that you're going to be conveying on a curve. Because one thing we don't want to happen, we don't want to see a derailment. See that face on Thomas's face? We don't want the customer to look like that at all. We don't want that product to go off the track, go off of our conveying system, because he's not going to be happy, and neither are we. So please, make sure you tell us what the length of the product that you're dealing with, the size and everything when we're spiking in the curves. If there's any questions about it, let us know. If you're unsure, we'll be glad to help you out. Like I said, we want to make sure we try to keep Thomas the Train on track with the proper specifications. Ball transfer table, another form of gravity conveying. Talk about that for a little bit. And just like the roller conveyors, we love to see flat bottom cartons, totes, fixtures, and cardboard boxes. It's what we like to see on these ball transfer tables. These are great when you have to reorientate the product. You have to spin it around to move it. Any side loading and unloading, no problems there. Keep in mind this number right here, this 300 pounds. Once you get beyond 300 pounds, it makes it a little bit hard to maneuver the product onto these spears here. This is not the answer to everything out there. The coefficient of friction is actually higher on the ball transfers than they are on the roller conveyors. So keep that in mind. If we get to over 300 pounds, give us a call. Let's take a look to see if there's alternative methods to getting your product from one point to the other. As far as our standard sizes of ball transfer tables, we start off at 12 inches up to 50, length 12 inches up to 10 feet, 120 inches. We have 4 different styles of frame styles for our ball transfer tables: BPA, BPB, BPC, and BPD. The BPA is great. This is a picture of it right here as an example, by the way. It's great if you have an existing flat top table and you want to put a ball transfer on top of it. This fits right on top there. Let us know what the dimensions are, and then we'll make one to order just to fit your size. BPB is more of a self-sufficient standalone type ball transfer table. The depth of the framework is a little bit longer, it's a little bit deeper, and you can actually insert our supports underneath it. So it actually becomes a standalone table. BPC, that is more of a conveyor frame design, which actually is on the picture right here. This is the BPC, and our framework that we use on here is our 1.9 frames. So it makes it easy to actually butt this right up against our 1.9 conveyors. We're going to be asking you for the between frame dimensions to make sure it's butted up. Specialty frames are available on the non-standard side of things. So if you want to stay more economical and quick delivery, stick with the 1.9. Our last ball transfer table style is BPD. And that's what this is right here. This is more of an insert, and what you can do is that on our 1.9 framework, you can pop out some of the rollers and you can insert a ball transfer table in there. You can use the existing hex hose to bolt this right in, and it'll go in there with no problem at all. Ball centers, we have dense, and we have 2-inch centers and 6-inch centers. Denses they're really tight, close together, side by side. Keep in mind that magic number of 300 pounds. If you remember correctly, the magic number for gravity roller conveyors is 3 rollers underneath the product for smooth rolling. When it comes to ball transfer tables, you would like to see a minimum of 9. 9 of those spheres, those balls placed underneath your product for smooth conveying. So keep that in mind. 3 is for the gravity rollers, 9 is for your ball transfer table. Obviously, in order to figure that out, you need to know the size of your product. Wheel rail conveyors. Okay, same as the other conveyors. We like to see a nice smooth surface. Non-contact accumulation, we like to see parts to be containerized. Same dealing as with the roller conveyors. We like to see them to be perpendicular to the rollers. Pallet loads parallel to the rollers as well. This is used a lot in the warehouses where the smaller storage racks we've seen, and the large ones as well, where they actually incline them there for a bit, load them from the back side, product rolls down to the front side, unload it from the front side, and these are installed on shelving throughout the different warehouses out there. They come in a variety of styles. Our standard length is 12 inches up to 10 foot long. We have wheel centers that are 1.5 to 3 inches, and we have a variety of frame styles. These frame styles can be looked at and reviewed on our website at LEWCOinc.com. That will show you all that. You can click on products, click on wheel rails, and you can see the different styles of frameworks that we have on there. Hopefully you learned something. One thing that is important that hopefully you absorbed is know the product that you are conveying. This will help out your customer more than anything. Know the size, know the weight, know what the surface looks like. That is going to be either on the roller or on the ball tables or on the wheel rails. Know the capacity of the product that you're looking at, and then if there's any questions, feel free to give us a call. One thing to keep in mind, if you are not already signed up to perform your own quotes into our customer portal, contact us at conveyorsales@lewcoinc.com so you can have access to that customer portal. You can do your own standard quotes. It's a lot quicker response to the customer rather than waiting for us to get one out to you. You can do it on your own. If the customer calls back and wants a revision, which rarely happens, then it's something you can revise on your own and give them a quick response. So just keep that in mind. Feel free to use that and give us a call, give us a email at conveyorsales@lewcoinc.com if you would like to have access to the customer portal. Keep in mind, if you do not know how to use the customer portal, we do have a webinar. The voice will probably be sounding a little bit familiar on our website that shows you how to use the customer portal and the access where you can perform your own quotes. I'd like to thank you all for attending. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Feel free to call us if you have any questions, and keep quoting, keep those orders coming. And again, thank you for attending our webinar.